afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of Strike, Defender of the Fatherland. We're off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on the road to Kharkov here between the South Easy, fighting for the Wehrmacht, for the Reich, für Deutschland and the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision here with Mobile Defense, Lightning Wall and Jägerarmor versus Nosliw, fighting for the United States of America for the 1st Armored Division here, with Airborne Infantry Company and Armor Company right available. We got infantry and anti-tank and bullets here, both players by the way though. Reload here and increased penetration there. So as you can start there, we got double rifle around there all ready for Nosliw. For Easy, it's Pioneers, MD42 and Grenadiers here right off the bat, ensuring you got some amount of troops on the field right as soon as possible. And of course also an MD42 sort of forestall any sort of immediate pushes from the Americans, say if Nosliw wants to get really close and uncomfortable with EC. But looks like he's actually rushing straight for the fuel, using the reassurance there to quickly also set up some barbed wire to make it harder to grab the point there, and using also in part his hammers and nails bulletins for the increased or decreased construction times actually on things like barbed wire. Pioneers rushing ahead there, breaking in doors, searching rooms and whatnot, spotting ahead there. While going actually pretty aggressively here versus Nosliw right off the bat, very interesting. Might be doing that in part to also try and figure out what Nosliw here is up to, but perhaps also just try and subtly throw him off his game. 2 Grenadiers there. Oh, the second squad on the way there. We got Rifleman there. Pioneers again moving ahead, again getting into a building. Once more spotting ahead for Deutschland. Breaking windows in the process. You know, Dieter, yeah? If you're supposed to be doing reconnaissance, maybe we shouldn't be alerting the enemy to our presence by smashing windows all the time. Maybe, and this is crazy, maybe we should just, you know, draw the curtains slightly apart. Nah, that's not the German way. We always smash windows.
We are losing a sector.
Anyway, troops moving up there, MD42 setting up, Grenadiers there, we got quick push here, so he's actually got all these sort of poking up next to Easy space than theories, so is Easy doing with the Nosliw space, but still, that should create a bit of pressure there in some senses, also of course open up for some potential here, sort of not being spotted. Rifle fire there, Pioneers falling back, Grenadiers sneaking ahead, and there you go, shot between Grenadiers, MD4, or Rifleman over there. Rifle will have the advantage due to the heavier cover. The Grenadiers only can find a few wooden crates, which don't really quite have the same bullet stopping power as an actual wall made out of stone. Second MD40 running for Easy, so 2 Grenadiers, 2 MD42s, they've got a lot of firepower in some sense. They can sort of use to hold up the enemy, can in some regards also have some good map control there versus Nosliw under the right conditions. He's going here for a pretty quick lieutenant. Been seeing so many captains, this is a bit of a surprising move. Not a bad one necessarily though, but certainly not what I'm used to seeing, since the captain of course has got very popular with his fuel cost decrease. Mine up here, very aggressive, very under the nose here of Nosliw. But overall good at the aiming. The closer you place a mine to your opponent's base, the more likely they're not going to expect it. There's a sort of fun mental blind spot there actually. I mean basically the closer you can sort of place a mine next to your opponent's base, and as long as you don't get spotted of course, I mean they're more likely they're just going to sort of hit it and get completely shocked. Robin here versus Grenadiers, not so much like the MD42 being pulled up to assist there. Go to MD42's 2 Grenadiers, he's sort of containing himself to sort of the left side of the map. Pioneers to push back there, we got more troops moving in there. Looks like some could prepare for flank, but they're just sort of guarding against any sort of move from east into the eastern side of the map. There you go. Side of the building here crumbling under the sheer torrent of bullets going through. Johnny there, Bob following up, stumbling down dead amidst the floorboards, really long rotted away. M20 there running for Nosliw. Meanwhile going for the point there. M42 still covering here, though ensures he doesn't want to get that cut off. Well, cut off. We got Mortar here doing nothing in particular. Tag up there, good. We're certainly still need some light vehicles, unless of course it hits that Telemann right away, of course. Easy might be banking on that. Of course, one thing to note here, we've seen no minesweepers here for Nosliw. He's probably not expecting again. Bit of a mental blind spot there,
Now build light mechanized infantry.
Reassurance now the ones fighting here from the ruins of that building. More men driving it. Quick Grenadiers flanking in, though rather low on health they will have to fall back. Mortar, oh finally moving up there. Granatenwerfer on the move, there we go. M20 moving out. The M20 utility car. Basically a Greyhound with the turret removed. And a 50 caliber added instead, had some bazookas and other bits. So, and there we go. Narrowly avoids the telemines though. Pathfinders around here, so we got actually airborne here chosen, we got Pathfinders out. Will Nosliw do what some players like to do when they go Pathfinders, which actually upgrade for BARs and then double upgrade them with BARs will really create a nasty little force there. I mean, some players are very fond of that move. Alright, here the M20 is catching easy, rather off guard. He's got no anti-tank. I mean, he did go for the heavier 2-1 here. And the M20 is certainly catching a bit there unprepared. I mean, he was basically banking everything on him following the roads there. But of course, the Americans don't need roads where they're going. But I'd like to make a nice company. I imagine we'll be seeing the 222 there being pulled up to deal with it. Gun is finding the light machine gun, and there we go. Like to punch his Spearwagen. Pioneer's been up the right side. Might force away some Nosliw from there, but he's losing control of the fuel here. Lieutenant leading the way there. While the M20 is sort of keeping things covered there. As much as he can. Mortar joining in there, a bit of fire. Crashing through the roof, but not actually harming anyone. Well, except Farmer Francois' favorite pet pig, Mr. American. Yes, Farmer Francois did not really like Americans. Anyways, MD-42 they're setting up. Lieutenant and M20 they're setting up. Grenadiers, mortar, and other grenadiers they're getting ready. Ooh, caught a bit off guard here again. The Lieutenant building certainly provides a bit of a nasty thing there. M20 being hit, we've always got the 222 ready. Very rough start here for Easy, very rough. Barely any map control could hit there through the roof, and Henry basically died from that. And the rest of the unit's not looking too good either. In fact, the Lieutenant is very much dead there. Well, he might be dead, but apparently no one's bothering to check if he actually is. So there we go, Nosliw being slightly pushed back, M20 falling back there. This time though, he seems to be sticking to the road. Could this be one hell of a surprise here for Nosliw? Oh dear. And there we go!
Light vehicle just got destroyed.
Kaput right there, M20 knocked out. That should give Easy a bit of an edge there now. The M20 is out, and of course the way it happened should shock Nosliw a bit, so there might be a slight, but if only brief psychological effect here that Easy could be able to take advantage to really push forward here. And of course as soon as that happens, Nosliw basically goes, oh, and gets the hazard rule package just in case the Germans left any more surprises for them. And the Germans certainly were known for booby trapping and the likes. There were stories of how, for example, in Italy, they'd sort of leave certain traps behind as they left through Italian villages. For example, they'd place booby traps behind a small painting in the nicest room they could find in, say, a house, figuring the officers would take that, in particular British office, and then they sort of slightly crook the painting, so whenever the British officers go, oh well, this isn't looking proper, they'd set the entire thing off. So yeah, some fun stuff there. Another Grenadier squad on the way for Easy though. Rifles flying away. Pathfinder's not doing too much at the moment. Could also consider laying up some beacons there, so, you know, give him a bit more intelligence here. Rushing into the building. And before they're covering. Easy trying to push back, and there go around a bit of trouble. They have not got veterans front, so they got no anti-tank rifle, which does give the overall edge here to the 222. With its 2cm auto cannon and its actual machine gun. 50 caliber up here for Nosliw. Interesting decision. Of course, he could consider, you know, also, well, getting the weapon right upgrade, besides not just, you know, BARs, but also bazookas to sort of help deal with the 222. I mean, for some reactions being upgraded with bazookas could help out a bit there. So, I mean, there are some options here and parts that Nosliw could take. I mean, troops pushing up here again. The main focus does seem from EC being the left side of the map so far. You know, take up there no further troops, so, you know, Panzer Grenadiers, which will, you know, be a nice little boost here as well, in particular since the Americans at the moment really aren't upgrading the men, which does leave a bit more vulnerable to Panzer Grenadier. There you go, push, hit 50 caliber, they're getting the MD-42.
Crowds are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured.
But of course, we've got the mortar responding back in much more violent kind. And it's stopped by the Pathfinders, and there you go, paratroopers being called in, paratroopers. Going to fall back here. 50 caliber, I don't think he could have set up fast enough to sort of save the Pathfinders here. That was a little bit too slow. Paratroopers dropping. You need to be careful though, need to be careful they don't get killed on drop. Almost got the Pathfinders there.
Airborne on the ground.
Shooting around that 50 caliber to another building. And we've got the Major on the way there, so taking up here, taking up with Rama. Easy be doing the same. Nope. Or 9, as the Germans would say. There we go, full broadside there, 50 caliber. This is the 222. Slack pushing here, reaction taking hits from the Grenadiers. Pioneers falls back. Applying more pressure on the right side. Getting Browning like machine guns, and we could also have gone for the Chamber machine guns for a bit more closer quarters. Actually looks like he's expected to sort of engage rear. Or from a from a distance. I mean, in essence, if you're attacked from the NS flanking, the Sark machine guns would be better, in particular with their tactical assault, in which case we do a lot of damage here and there for some really wipe out some units very quickly. But again, this thing to range engagement here. A lot of players have lately just stuck with the Browning light machine guns. I'm seeing not so many submachine guns being utilised, despite though being actually quite potent again, in particular the Jungle Attack. Let's make a move here. Oh dear though. Didn't expect all those Americans to be right around the corner. We do see Fleet Gun is essentially annihilated. May drought some time off. He could of course try and go for the Scot here initially. Of course he might also just be aiming for the Sherman. Not a bad choice there though. And we got Easy taking up there. No doctrine though from Easy. No mobile defense, lightning roar or Jaeger armor.
A capture point is under attack.
Bad place to fight there in the middle of the road. Negative cover makes your troops easy to hit and they take more damage. So try to avoid, fighting in the middle of the road. Or at least, fighting from it. If you can catch someone in the middle of the road, that's good for you. We're losing the fuel point there. Bit of a struggle here for Nosliw. The MD-42 sort of helping Easy sort of hold the more vital points here, so how they sort of sneak past. And of course, with the loss of the M20 lax sound, they could sort of quickly just rush past the MD-42s and dealt with them there. Of course, an option is to basically upgrade the rifle with grenades, use some smoke. I mean, that could very well be a good option there. But no, none of that. Almost done here though with the 3rd tier, and that's a support core can be available there for Easy. Or he might decide he wants to go for the 4th tier and the heavy panzer, although that would be a bit more risky considering the circumstances. Just a bit.
Warning orders, gang.
I definitely think Nosliw would benefit from continuing all the munitions has. I mean, just get the reason some bazookas or something else, some BARs for the rest of the Pathfinders. I think they do a lot more damage there versus Easy, particularly flanks. But for some reason, he's rather missing the opportunity to do some extra damage that way. And giving his men a bit more lich versus Germans on the other hand, quickly upgrading with light machine guns. And before through the flanking incendiary out a good choice there. Eastern fuel for victory point being lost. Reactions moving up there as well. Germans hiding away. Of course, we've still got the Grenadier left to spawn on the front line here. 50 cover joining in. Slightly exposed position though. The cover's not really applying from here. Remember, cover is directional in this case. Not quite as much really. More American infantry arriving. Paratroopers, pathfinders, and riflemen. Sherman on the way there. Former Coh only just done here in their some time before Easy can actually get a tank out himself. So that is at least something there in the favour of Nosliw, if we can sort of get a good effect out there versus Mr. Easy. At least they're fighting from the house, but there we go. Paratroopers launching ahead, grenade through the window. Building collapses under the sheer explosive power. So some good progress here for Nosliw. Again, we got the 222, they're still operable halfway to Veteran 23. I think the mortar could stand him up a bit further forward to support the frontline troops a bit better, but then again he might just be sort of, establishing a safe point, but he's being pushed back. Got the paratroop rifle in there. Pathfinders need to get out of there. Or they are annihilated. We got Veggie 2 though, which is always a bonus for them. First push up there, and there we go. Sherman out, the M4A3. 50 caliber can be added easily here. And again, he's got so much munitions. I really think he's missing out here, not upgrading his rifle with the BARs and maybe say the reactions with the bazookas. I mean, that would make it a lot harder for Easy to just move about his 222 freely. Of course, him to be a lot more careful as well. There you go, 222 striking, paratroops there. Don't really have lots to do resisted with. Of course, still got the Sherman, which is getting the 50 caliber. No pack forward either. So depending on how aggressive Nosliw is, we do quite a bit of damage. There you go, 222 finally knocked out. Close to the Sherman, of course he could go for Stug, but no. Getting a pack 40, no Stug. Kein Sturmgeschütz, in fact he's losing quite a bit of manpower. a few fuel caches. Might actually be a good choice there for easy. Or some Panzer Grenadiers as well. Overall, the options are plentiful there. Same for Nosliw, but similarly, they just sort of seem more focused on certain few options. But there you go, high close rounds up. Going to deal with the Pioneers. I'm surprised that he didn't try to push harder up here the left flank. I'm guessing it's the worry of mines. It's quite easy again. Only having laid down one mine. It's really sort of changing overall how aggressive Nosliw is. Again, had he, just charged forward, he could have basically collapsed the entire part here, grabbed the fuel point, and pretty much got easier, farther away from his Panzer IV. Instead, that's not quite happening now, is it? We've got further attacking here. Easy going out in force here for Germany and for the Panzerlehr Panzerdivision. So named because it was founded out of a basically series of instructional cadres the Germans used. Some of their best Panzer crews and Panzer Grenadiers and the like sort of instructors. Such have basically sort of formed it into a full division, and I believe the suggestion of Guderian to sort of quickly form up a fresh elite division. And sort of on a follow-up there, there's sort of an interesting thing. The Germans before that, though, would actually regularly take sort of from different sort of training units and schools and just sort of form up a battalion and then send out all the instructors there to gain fresh experience. That way they updated the curriculum. Sort of little fun detail there, for example, artillery battalion there, or pioneer battalion there, or grenadier, and so on and so on. Little fun fact there. There's a taking heavy hits there from the Sherman. Halfway to Veterans 1 already, rather than getting stopped. And again, now of course the Pack 40, of course it can't be as aggressive, but of course by this point the, well, momentum has a bit been lost. And there we go, Panther on the way for easy. Time though for the mid-game analysis. Current situation in Nosliw though has got most of the map there. Easy though is concentrated again. This is going to be tricky here for sort of Nosliw, how he finishes off this little pocket of angry Germans. I mean, one option is basically just smoke the pack, get behind it, knock it out using the Sherman. I mean, that'll probably be sort of a safer bet right now. Then again, question of course, does Easy have more than one pack? Of course, Pack 40. We know he doesn't. But Nosliw does not. He does know what else hiding there, and that's probably sort of keeping him a bit there nervous. Of course, if you upgrade his rifle and say with smoke grenades, he could always charge in the Sherman first, and in case something goes wrong, then he can have the rifle and then lay down smoke screens to then sort of cover its retreat. But again, sort of head-on assault here with smoke, under the cover of smoke would probably be one option here. Another one would be sort of to try up here, get behind Easy here and sort of do a lot of damage. That could also work out quite fine. There's a huge blind spot here in Easy's sort of defences and basically line of sight. So, I mean, a good flank here could be very potent. So that's definitely also one way here for Nosliw to sort of deal with things. But I really think that he should upgrade here for the weapon rack. Get some BAs out for the rifleman, the lieutenant, an extra one there, and the pathfinders, and get the re-echelons a pair of bazookas. I mean, just for a bit of extra sort of anti-tank defense. The hell, he could even get the major bazooka. Then again, maybe not. But I'll wait. A few bazookas, but mostly BARs, and again, sort of trying to launch more sort of enveloping flank attacks, because again, there's a real good option for it right there. Just huge soft underbelly on Easy. So if you can do that, you could pretty much sort of wipe him out there. But again, if he's going to just charge ahead with no smoke into the front though of Easy, then things might easily be a lot more advantageous here for Easy, and he could overall win it through that. Otherwise, longer term for Nosliw, otherwise besides getting upgrades, I think would be fuel caches maybe, otherwise getting out another Sherman. Jackson though could also be a help there, and of course he's getting worried about armour. So I mean, that is rather what to consider there. For Easy, caches would be good, Panzer Grenadiers would be good. I mean, some bit more offensive infantry with a lot more firepower, in particular if Nosliw really is insistent on not upgrading his riflemen. The Panzer Grenadiers I think would easily get a good advantage there versus Nosliv's troops. Plus in a pinch you can always upgrade with the Panzer Treks. So in that regard they also have a bit of extra sort of secondary purpose in those cases. But Panzer IV is good. He could always follow up with a Stuka though for a bit more anti-tank if he wants, or say another Panzer IV. I do want him to choose a Doctrine. I mean, Jaeger armor, he doesn't really have much. I can sort of mesh with it, so not necessarily. Lightning Wall would be better. Then again, he's not really got a lot of grenadiers. Could get the G43s. Those tactical movement could be effective. Relief infantry. Stuka clears air support on the Tiger. And of course, I mean, mobile defense works nicely. Get out some Ostruben, counter-attack tactics, Pumas, command tanks. I mean, would also work out well. So either of these two doctrines I think would be good, though he should choose them soon. And otherwise, he should apply more pressure to here. He needs to draw away some of Nosliv's troops from here. Perhaps support it with a Panzer IV to sort of, force him to sort of draw away first things there from the west, allowing to then make a push up the west. I mean, try to sort of extend Nosliw a bit and use the Panzer IV to sort of scare him a bit off, because I mean, we do know again, I mean, Nosliw himself is a bit lacking anti-tank. He's got the Sherman to sort of deal with fascist tanks, and that's about it at the moment. He's got no anti-tank gun, but of course, he is airborne. So he can quickly call in an anti-tank gun if he wants to. It's not like he's completely there, but still there's going to be some slight period of time there before he gets it, sort of, where attack there could do some damage there for easy. But let's return into the fight and see what happens next. Rather than getting suppressed, and it is popping over the wall. Only see it crumble under the Sherman. There you go, point blank miss. Good job there, Leroy. Sherman falling back. Rather than stopped by the MG42 though. Ever positioned here. Easy taking no chances. Sherman could do with some light repairs there. Bit of duct tape and who knows what. More grenadiers here. I would like to see some Panzer grenadiers. I mean, so many players do have a tendency just towards grenadier spam, but isn't always quite that effective. In particular, we sort of want more aggressive tactics. Anyways, paratroops here versus the pioneers. Quickly pushes them away.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
400 munitions. BARs and bazookas really would be an excellent choice. But there you go, Grenadiers Infantry 3 versus paratroops to inside a building. The double ground up machine guns are basically tearing them apart there. A lot of firepower there, they can deliver versus the German infantry. Again, nothing for the rifle, nothing. I definitely think that's a larger tactical and strategic miss here by Nosliw. But there you go, he's making a move here with the Panzer off the right flank, good. He should be able to support some harassment again, also force, Nosliw to have to defeat troops from then in the Sherman. Plus the Pack 40 can still keep things safe. But there we go, we actually got a flank here. He left things from there we go, we got smoke, he got smoke. But what happens next here is what shouldn't be happening. He should be firing the smoke, then making the move at the same time. Here's the thing to keep in mind though. It can actually make, move acid fast as smoke screen. That's a little detail there about the Sherman, so you can also see cover retreat right here though. He sort of failed to follow up and actually get that Pack 40 on the move. Right there, I do think there's a attack mistake by the way, getting behind here, but lacking extra firepower, or grenades. He's lacking some for the garage, he's easily and quickly cleared out MD42. What's happening here? All of the riflemen and the paratroopers and all that are stacking in front of the MD42. There's only a single squad there beyond the arc of fire. Plus the Sherman's getting caught in front of the Pack 40 and the Panzer 4. I mean, this is overall not working out here for Nosliw. This is a bit of a botched assault, if anything. In this case, he didn't take advantage of what he sort of had there to really make a good opening assault. Need to get this German out of it. There we go. Too late. German knocked out. A definite win there for easy. Plus, he also lost a lot of men without really doing too much damage. So, I mean, keep in mind, if you are going to use smoke to launch assault with, bring up the Sherman. And remember, he can move while firing off the smoke screen, so he could, rush the Pack 40 right there. Had he done that, I think this battle would look different. In particular, if he'd upgrade the rifle with either grenades or BARs. So again, there are sort of few strategic mistakes in tactical that sort of, ensured that what could have been a good assault rather lacked the momentum and rather quickly got bogged down and then torn apart. Good cover here, they quickly got flanked. We also got an anti-tank here though from Nosliw. Got something to help deal with the armour a bit there, that's good. We are seeing territory lost, we got pad loading repaired. Still no doctrine though from Easy, still no doctrine. Further fighting here though, rifleman re-echelons and the lieutenant they're pushing up. Closing in victory here for the lieutenant. A lot of shooting there. And Grenadiers is suppressed, but got the 50 cover there with a rifle grenade. There you go, lieutenant moving up, point blank. Time's up, shooting the BAR, they are suppressed. The Germans really will be able to defend here, but of course, another MD42 supporting the Grenadiers on the other hand will be able to assist. And there you go. Lieutenant Thompson there, quickly killed in action. But there you go, some actual grenades on the paratroopers. Almost got the MD42 crew there, but got another MD42 they're supporting. Could have popped incendiary rounds there for increased damage versus Nosliv's troops, didn't quite there take the advantage. Panzer 4, not fully combat ready, but looks like here Easy's feeling confident enough. It's a bit of a pin here against his fort reinforcement point. Still no incendiary rounds, particularly it's so close to it. It really would be a nasty combo there, eventually the incendiary armor piercing rounds. Very nasty towards any infantry. Got more pioneers there on the way to prepare for tanks, I imagine.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Veteran fleet on the Pathfinders, good, getting some kills there. And then you get veteran fleet on the MD42, Grenadiers moving ahead there. And there we go, Panzer 4 joins in. Anti-tank gun. Not quite saying. There you go, anti-tank is shooting, and he's set munitions for P-47 rocket strafe. That certainly also worked. Of course, the question is, would it have been necessary had you been able to make greater gains earlier on with VARs and bazookas? I mean, that's always something to consider then. I mean, you're sort of floating with resources. You're missing out opportunities to do more damage earlier on, which again, you know, can actually have a greater effect, say, just having access to a P-47 later on.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points. Orders! Our supply line just got cut off.
So Nosliw here in a bit of trouble now, 47 versus 69 in terms of population. The Grenadiers also being more heavily equipped in that regard. Easy has not been skimping on the munitions when they're upgrading of his men compared to Nosliw. Besides the paratroopers, really hasn't upgraded a single soul there with better weapons. Getting another Sherman there, another Sherman. So as they're losing out, though they have pretty much no cover there versus the paratroopers do have, and they've also got Vex and the throw on three the double Browning light machine guns there, and he's definitely got a good hand there. And again, it also creates a bit of a problem. If Easy gets those paratroopers, that could very much pretty much knock out the footing under Nosliw. And we got a second Panzer IV there, so Easy building up his armored force as well here. Important there grabbed. Sherman on the way. And the Lieutenant charges forward. Out in the open though, bad position of the rest of the Grenadiers. Rather than moving up.
Tank support is here.
Really basically just trying to use raw numbers to deal with the Grenadiers. It might work, but was a bit close there, was a bit close. Of course the Panther Royal basically tipped the scales completely in Easy's favour while the arm moves ahead here. Veterans won, by the way. There you go, Lieutenant Colt, Lieutenant dead. There's a high loss already amongst Noslew's junior officers, it seems. But that wasn't exactly uncommon in most armies. The British Army actually had such a big issue in some cases, they had to rely on the Canadians to fight them with the lieutenants and the lights for their units. Fun fact there.
Capture point is being overrun. Sherman ready to go.
And getting the M36 Jackson tank destroyer here for Mr. Nosliw.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Tagging in there, Panzer IV turns its enemy in the turret and shoots, and bounces off the front line there with Sherman.
Germany now holds the victory point. Panzer IV ready. A capture point is under attack. We have it! Change your plans! Under fire! Stand by! Our supply line just got cut off.
Ahead. Panzer IV shoots. Bounce again, but there you go. Anti-tank gets some good hit there. Goes through the front line there of the Panzer IV. Pat 40 shoots there. Nice position, covered by the MB-42. They were pretty much can only then cover here. I mean, if sort of attacks here or here, the anti-tank gun's not going to do that much use there for Easy. So in some sense, it was a tricky thing. Pathfinder's recently in the building. Panzer opens up. Then these joins in the front. There we go. We got the M36 Jackson up. Germany nearby as well. Forgotten about that. So artillery really good for Nosliw, though the only option he's really got at the moment is basically the Scott. Otherwise he's going to have to check for the capture and get the Pack howitzer up. But I think either of those would have a bit him, particularly with the Pack 40 and some other positions. But overall, just from a rather dominant start now, we see Nosliw he's a bit more on the back foot versus Easy.
Listen up!
23 kills. They're really taking apart those Grenadiers. There you go, MG-42 opening up. Still no BIRs or bazookas. Holy moly, that was one hell of a hit there. Grenadier squad annihilated. Definite victory there for Noslyw's Sherman crew.
Ready for orders. Panzer IV.
Easy here seems to be taking it, well, easy. Also, finally gone for Doctor. He's chosen Lightning War. Oh, not choosing. We've got more Telemines here though. Good, good. In case Nosliw does get aggressive. It's only been quite some time between the first one, which was here, and then the second one here. Well, it seems like his Panther force are based on a more defensive measure. He's got one sort of covering each side. They won't sort of be able to deal with the concentrated attack, except the attack for the centre. But at the same time, versus minor Rashman, the Panther force will be... Oh! Could we try to bait him into the mine here? Yes, yes! Telemine went off. Almost got the Sherman there. But then again, Panther force not good here. And Jackson, misses. Sherman needs to get away though. Sherman needs to get away. Jackson on the move here. Can he get it? Can he get it? He shoots after someone else. Lord, Donnie hit the target. There we go. Panther IV, a smouldering wreckage. So there we go, that worked out nice. Of course, we saw the weakness here for Easton actually splitting up his tanks like that. I mean, if Nosliw makes a concerted push for either of them, they'd easily go. And there we go, we got another rocket attack strafe here.
They got wiped out.
More rockets there. Panther IV takes little hits, they're damaging as well. Anti-tanker not turning though. Anti-tanker not turning, trying to deal with alternating no-take aim now. Almost got the Panther IV. Jackson far away as well there. No attempt at knocking out the Panther IV. Anti-tanker still not moving. This is just too much happening for Nosliw at the moment. He's also got a lot of his troops that suppressed due to the MU-42 supporting it. And there goes men are caught by the Panther IV, taking losses there from the rockets almost. Anti-tanker finally ready. And there we go, Panther IV knocked out. And we got German strafing run in as well. We got the Panther IV on fire. Belching out black, hideous smoke as the Kanonenvogel flies above. So both sides pretty much losing all the tanks. There's only a tank destroyer left here from Mr. Nosliw, which might give him an edge. On the other hand, he's actually close here to call in a Tiger tank if he wants to.
We lost an anti-tank gun.
And the anti-tank got cleared out.
We're losing a capture point.
More strafing from both sides there. Now Noslyw's a bit there on the back foot, having lost, well, his tank. Of course, we've got two Panther IVs, and there we go. Tiger arrives. Tiger has been mobilised from his air Panzer battalion to support the Panzer Panzer division here. Hit bomb machine gun going up as well. And there's this time the lieutenant, we're just moving about. Pathfinder's paratroopers, 24 kills on those fellows.
Looks like we're getting into the excitement.
And there we go, crashing down, or rolling down the remainders of the street.
Now available.
Wreckage of Panther IV was not much to cover there versus the Sherman, going after the MU-42, but also ends up straight from the pack forward. He takes a hit, but gets behind it, of course, quickly due to the train here. I mean, he could do it quicker there, so nicely executed here. Of course, not sure that was intended there by Nosliw. There's just one problem. Just one tiny tiger-shaped problem, and that is the Tiger. Sherman might be in trouble. Jackson is moving up there, getting a good hit, almost fetching to one, but I fear the Sherman might not make it out. If he could sort of time the smoke correctly, he might have a slight chance there, but no. Ends up abandoned. Ends up abandoned, and forcing him to knock out the Sherman there with his Jackson.
Armor here. HMG! Amen. Stand by. Awaiting orders. Pioneers awaiting orders.
Paratroopers suppressed, but then MU-42 veterans free. Gute Arbeit. Grenade attempted.
Enemy forces
Tiger moving about there.
Territory. Well done. We have forced the enemy down to 200 points. Einsatzbereit. We are losing a sector.
And there you go, GG from Nosliw. Game over. Game over. So there you go, an interesting match there again. Nosliw starting up rather great, but I feel like he failed to take advantage of that to a certain extent upgrade his rifle, and I think if he'd done that, he would have stood a much better chance there in the longer game, plus the bazookas would have helped out just a bit here and there. Combine that, of course, with the rather nice mining there from Easy early on. They basically caught the M20 off guard there. I think it also basically caused Nosliw to get a lot more cautious with the Sherman there the first run he had, which definitely was a huge bonus there for Easy. Otherwise, he could have rushed right here through the Sherman East early on, collapsed there, which case that one pack 40 gut probably would have been quite as much help there. So some rather interesting sort of knock-on effects here and there through certain small actions from both sides. Also some good arm action there here and there. Though of course Nosliw did make some mistakes again with that one assault there with the smoke. Didn't quite fill up with enough force, rather piecing it all out. Then of course combined with the lack of upgrades for the riflemen, and other troops really didn't help out either. Easy of course, in what it's going to do is upgraded, make good use of infantry, good use of MG42s, mortars helped out, tanks helped out. The mines certainly also played quite a critical role several times, ensuring the overall had a good chance there versus his opponent. So overall well played there by Easy and by Nosliw, but sadly not quite enough there by Nosliw. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gave you ideas for matches, some tactics and strategies, and if you did want to subscribe, tell a friend, share it with everyone. This is Imperial Cheers and thank you for watching. Bye.